What's good, YouTube? We got more Tummy G.
Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
No one's ever seen this. This is his original presentation to raise money from the 70s.
I think he started with good intentions, but I think power and money went to his head.
We're at a gate here.
Oh, he got a compound.
Kenneth Copeland is one of the
Whoa.
darkest individuals
He
I've
got
ever
a
come
dark
across.
smile. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm kind of scared. He got, whoa.
Get off the property now.
Where's that badge, just by the way?
Off the property.
This.
You want to see this? Off the property. Look,
What
you
happened?
flash your gun.
In that magnificent name, the name of Jesus, amen.
Kenneth Copeland. You might recognize him for his interview on Inside Edition.
Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did.
He's the guy that claimed to defeat COVID-19.
He aggressive.
COVID-19!
He speaks in tongue.
Why do I feel like you just spit on me, Pastor? Not coming in here no more.
And he claims he will live to 120.
I will live and preach this gospel till I'm 120 years old.
And
That's
he's
a
not
wild
joking.
age shit. Hit it too.
And would you know, folks, that Kenneth Copeland is America's richest pastor, with estimates of his net worth ranging wildly from
300
$300 million to nearly $1 billion.
Chat, I bet you his collection plate go around at least 5 times during his service. And you know you got like 3 services, bro. He probably had a couple 3 more up in there. He is going around 5 times.
And today, we're diving into a series of disturbing allegations concerning Copeland and his church, Eagle Mountain Ministries. Allegations like that he allegedly used church donations to build a private oil empire that rakes in millions. That he promised his donors a Christian retirement community, but instead, all that money allegedly went to things like this. So we flew to Dallas, Texas to infiltrate Kenneth Copeland's empire and expose the truth about his ministries. We teamed up with Nate of the Religion Business, who has dedicated the last few years of his life to exposing people like Kenneth. From standoffs on his private tarmac to uncovering his private hunting grounds, we show you the side of Kenneth Copeland that he has spent his entire life trying to conceal. Something you should know before we get into the episode, we have completely restocked and revamped our Big Dog collection. We got new shirts on the site in green and brown, trucker hats, hoodies, all your favorites, restocked, ready to go. So get yours while supplies last at TommyGMcGee.com. And now, folks, to Kenneth Copeland. $7:30 right now, it's Sunday morning in Dallas, Texas. In about 3 minutes, we have a guy named Nate pulling up who's part of something called the Religion Business. He's made it his job to bust out the nonsense that's happening in nonprofits and churches around the country and even the world. Nate suspects that Kenneth Copeland is actually a fraudster, allegedly, and that this is a man that we need to investigate, look into, and make sure we understand what is happening with all the money flowing through his church, all the broken promises, and how is a pastor worth nearly $1 billion.
What is up, brother? Good to meet you too, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I've got a really big 30 by 40-inch map of his property, so we'll block it out. I think. Oh yeah, we have this place down the road.
I am Nathan Apfel, TV and film director, and my mission is to bring accountability into the religious institutions here in America and the world. I was raised a Christian, raised in the megachurch scene, and I realized this whole system is a house of cards and it needs to be
That's
take
how I
it
feel,
apart
Jack.
and be rebuilt.
Kenneth Copeland is one of the darkest individuals I've ever come across.
Justin Peters is a world-renowned preacher who uses a deep understanding of biblical scripture to expose the lies of prosperity gospel leaders like Kenneth Copeland. There is perhaps no Christian better suited to be an expert witness on the teachings of Copeland than him.
I honestly believe that Kenneth Copeland is demon-possessed.
I think he started with good intentions, but I think power and money and the ease in which people are manipulated went to his head.
This is Sarah. She worked for the Copelands for years, and after she could no longer take it, she chose to leave the church, even though she knew this would mean being cut off from her parents who to this day still work there.
We were not allowed to talk to him or approach him in any way. He would come in with like
can
fully
talk to his
armed
own
security
daddy.
guards, which is a little weird when you're going into your own business.
We've been looking at Kenneth Copeland for several decades.
This is Pete and Barry. They are private investigators who have spent decades looking into Kenneth Copeland, and I was shocked by some of the things they had dug up about Kenneth.
When my boss, Ole Anthony, sat down at breakfast with him in the 1970s, Kenneth Copeland ordered pancakes. He handed them back to the waitress and said, "God doesn't want me to eat cold pancakes." And everybody thought he was joking, and they looked at him, and everybody looked back and forth. He was serious. He was dead serious.
Kenneth Copeland has been raising money since the late 70s for the revival
never heard
capital
God
of the
say
world,
we
which
can't
is
eat no
this.
cold pancakes.
This is his sanctuary. So for 44 years, no one's ever seen this. This is his original presentation to raise money from the 70s. He used to mail this to people, to millions of people in the US, and ask for money.
There was never any real plan or any real push to have any of that done.
This is Melissa, another former Copeland ministry employee, and she spent 6 years with the church doing things like admin work, marketing, and ministerial relations.
Kenneth Copeland planned to build 6 things on this property. A ministry facility, which is the church building, the headquarters, his Kenneth Copeland and Eagle Mountain Church's headquarters, a resort hotel, paying members to use, the Kingdom Park, a beautiful park to use, his radio and TV center, and Wisdom Heights, which is a retirement community. So you give to me, and you will be able to live in our retirement community. And all the while, you'll get to come and watch broadcast TVs, our recordings. You'll get to live and enjoy the revival capital of the world.
Part of the revival capital of the world was actually finished, but most of it was not.
How are we going to penetrate this operation?
The main road's here. There's a railroad crossing here. We're going to come in. This is the main highway right here. This is the gate. There's sometimes a police officer stationed here, but the gate's open because there's going to be a couple hundred people pouring through here.
Do they have this police paid off? Like, are they paying this guy to watch?
They do have private security for the whole property. So we're gonna come right through here. These are all the parking lots for the church. You're gonna walk into the building. So there's a gate right here. So this is the private road. It's a dirt road that runs all the way here.
Okay.
All the way here, around here. And we can either jet down through the tarmac and come around to his house.
Damn.
Or we could take this back road and kind of walk through here. But I say we just stick to the
Tarmac, dude.
The tarmac it is.
We fly down here, catch that, boom,
yeah,
get to his house. Before I went to Copeland's church, I first wanted to donate to him so I could be a paid member and feel like I had a right to be in the places I would be investigating. And as soon as I did donate, he began to send me a barrage of emails. In his very first message, he offered to heal my body, eliminate my debt, and restore broke.
Oh, he is milking the cow. He said, look, not only do you gotta pay to get up in my church, we got a membership for you. Look, you need some healing? I'm gonna give you some great counseling, my friend. Come on down. I'm gonna give you this good word. Me and the Lord gonna talk to you. Come on. For $7.35. You already done paid $60 to get up in here. Milking that motherfucking cow. Shame on you, my boy. Shame on you. That is wild. Why I can't just, I already done paid to come in here. It's supposed to be free. I'm supposed to be paying communion if I want to. And tithes. Nigga. Wonderful.
Broken relationships. What a nice guy. The Copeland sent many emails, and one theme that kept popping up was donations. They used Bible verses to encourage giving with phrases like sow the seed, which really means send them money, and receive your anointing, which is allegedly what happens when God notices that you've donated to the Copeland.
If you sow a seed to Kenneth Copeland, you now have obeyed this divine law that says you will get back what you've given. You've given to a man of God. And so he justifies it because, hey, all believers should be healthy and wealthy.
They also promise to pray for you every single day if you become a partner of theirs, which leads me to wonder, did they turn pay for play into pay for pray? And one other tactic that stands out is what some call strategic generosity. You see, the Copelands offer you free little promotional items like an audio file from Gloria or a welcome box with their magazine of them in it. And some say that these small gifts are given with the intention that it will trigger a sense of obligation for you to send more money to them. And it's a clever cycle. You give to them to get blessed from God, the Copelands get your money, and somehow faith becomes a financial transaction. What are the odds they're going to get police there?
I bet security is going to catch us before we even get there.
I think we need to change our attire.
I agree. Let's get ready for church.
You put that shit on. Hey. Tommy G dressed casual.
I grew up going to, in what was at the time, one of the biggest mega churches in the country, Willow Creek Community Church. Thousands and thousands of people in a huge auditorium. There was escalators in the place, restaurant, cafeteria, bookstore, basketball courts. It was amazing. I've never had that, like, oh, I have a spiritual connection to God. And so I fell away from the church as I got older.
What do you think it is that makes someone
continue to give
like,
money to God?
I got a personal relationship with God. I talk to him all the time. I ain't gonna say I talk to him all the time, but I feel, well, nah, I can't say that because I feel like I be having like little random conversations with myself. And I feel like within that, like, I don't know, I'm talking to God on like some connection stuff. But as far as praying, I be praying, bro. Nah, though, I build like my own like personal relationship with God. I don't go to church. I feel like I should go to church though, because I haven't been to church in a while, just to get that feeling. But I feel like you don't always gotta go to church to have a relationship. I feel like you should have a relationship with God though. I can't make you have one, but I feel like everybody deserves like a relationship with God. He'll guide you in some ways. Like, I don't know, you talk to him, he gonna talk back for sure. Ski, just know that he gonna talk to you. He gonna talk back to you every time. It might not be in the way you want him to talk back, but you gonna, like, as time go on, you gonna be like, dang. I remember I prayed and I asked for that. It must hit. It's gonna hit in like his timing, but it ain't gonna always come when you want it though. You gotta be patient and just like be yourself with him. You ain't gotta feel like, oh, I gotta be the best of the best, cause ain't nobody perfect. We all go through things. That's why you should keep God with you, cause he gonna keep you on that step of being like, you know what? Let me think and move a little different. He just give you like, give you that good feeling. I ain't gonna lie. You gotta look at it like that though. Especially if you ain't like, if you ain't got the best of the connection with him, you gotta look at it like that. Cause you can't like just go in there thinking, oh, I gotta be the best of the best. You'll get there eventually, but as you're working on yourself and building a relationship with God, just know like time is of the essence, man. You gotta be patient with yourself. But keep that relationship though, for sure.
Guy that already has private jets, a 19,000 square foot house, and much, much more.
The poor and the sick are desperate.
Because people want to believe desperately in the miracles.
This is a way for me to grow my bank balance. This is a way for me to become richer.
This is Melissa. She's a Christian YouTuber who uses her platform to discuss theology, expose false teachings, and help people spot spiritual deception. Here was her take on Copeland.
What you give, you will get back. And if you can teach people that, if you can shut down their ability to even understand what the Bible actually teaches about it, and their ability to critically think, then that's an easy given. That I believe that.
That's facts.
Morning. If we're trying to get a Bible before the service, is that the Bible store over there? The bookstore?
Oh, the bookstore? Yeah, just go in the main entrance and it's right to your left.
Thank you, sir. So they're a decently well organized unit. All right, we're infiltrating. We're going in. Oh my God, we'll see you in about 45 minutes. Sir. This is the moments we live for in this world.
Dude, this is how years in the making, really. Okay, guys, I'll see you. I'm gonna go to the bookstore.
Morning, how you doing?
Oh, thank you very much. Good morning.
This is a 2004.
How you doing? Is there a way to buy a Bible right now, or no? Is the bookstore closed? Oh, bummer. Go get my Bible out of the car. I was hoping to buy one here. Thank you.
Top of the morning to you. How are you?
Great. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? How are you?
Good morning.
Dressed in my Sunday best, I went into the service to get a feel for how the Copelands do church. I knew going in that Kenneth had an almost ridiculous amount of armed security. I mean, just look at how they responded to this woman who asked questions about scripture.
Can I ask you, do you think it's always God's will for you to be healthy and wealthy?
Yeah.
So how do you answer 1 Timothy chapter 6 when God says that those that desire to become rich fall into all kinds of temptations?
Actually, I'm going to get you somebody that can answer all your questions for you.
Okay. That's the person you say can help me, security?
Yes.
You don't want to be questioned? Why not Kenneth Copeland? Because he doesn't speak to people, does he?
I'm sure of course he speaks to people, but that's where they have staff pastors to meet and answer any questions.
So we went in incognito with spyglasses, trying to stay under the radar before we left the church to storm Kenneth's compound.
One of the things that was very much emphasized was the fact that there's cameras around and you've got to watch what you say because people are listening.
Describe the volunteer culture in the church.
It is very unhealthy. I also volunteered there for a while. I would definitely call it labor trafficking because they expect you to do everything for free and choose that over your actual job.
Love is King, Jesus is Lord. It's exciting. You can't stay, well that's fine. You can put that in the offering basket. Not in and of ourselves. Our victory is.
You might be wondering, where is Kenneth? And the truth is, Mr. Copeland is rarely seen preaching at Eagle Mountain these days, and his daughter Terry has more or less taken over as lead pastor.
They used to put out reports that would let their partners know this is what we spend on missions, this is what we spend on employees, that type of thing. And when George and Terry took over, they decided they did not want any transparency at all whatsoever. So even percentages, not even with numbers, none of that is, or at least when I was there, was not available to the public.
As I sat in my chair, maybe I was being too cynical, but it felt like the entire sermon was laced with marketing pitches to get people to tithe, which is the biblical word for giving 10% of your income.
If you'll fill that out, put that either in the offering basket when it comes, put your prayer request on there, and that way we have your name.
We thank you for the ability to grow in wealth.
You see, Kenneth and other prosperity gospel preachers have morphed tithing into this weird formula that essentially, if you give money to them, an anointed prophet of God, that it will somehow translate into God then deciding to multiply your income. Now, some of you may have been expecting...
That ain't how that works. You're supposed to be giving the money back to fund the church, not me offering some money to you and money gonna come back to me 10 times. That ain't how that work. I go to work, the money that gonna come to me, you just milking a cow and selling a dream. What?
Expecting a bigger auditorium. And what you have to realize is most of Kenneth's audience is watching through TV, hence why they call him a televangelist. And in his church, he had dozens of ushers who also double the security, many of them probably armed, but most importantly, their job was to approach people sitting in the back and bring them up to pack the front of the church. The reason? To make the audience look filled to capacity for the people watching on their TV back home.
The longer I was there, they started limiting bathroom breaks. You're not allowed to approach certain people. You're expected to all act the same, dress the same. They expected all the body shapes to be the same, telling people they were poorly representing Kenneth because they were a little bit overweight.
In the most important...
I can't go to church just because I'm overweight. I ain't saying it's a good thing to be overweight, but damn. Don't they say come as you are? Kenneth, bro, you wild.
Time in this nation, we need to know how to vote.
A quick note, folks, there's something called separation of church and state. One way that churches keep their tax-exempt status is by avoiding direct political endorsements. But here at Eagle Mountain, you see classes aimed at educating their members on how to vote. And Kenneth Copeland himself makes his political leanings pretty clear. Here where he mocks Joe Biden.
The media said Joe Biden's president. Ha 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 ha.
And here where he attends a Trump rally.
I copied his suit.
To some, this raises a fair question. Should the IRS be paying closer attention to this kind of activity?
People urge people to vote, and they're training people to properly vote, and then in private, wink wink, it's for a certain generally Republican candidate, but not always. They can't go after that particular organization's tax-exempt status unless they actually have film of the pastor saying on film to vote for actually a person.
We snuck out halfway through the service so we could attempt to infiltrate Copeland's compound while his security team was focused on the people inside the church.
Like, in some ways, it's a very passionate church service. Their music was excellent. Yeah. But then it almost felt like everything was like an infomercial, like go back into giving. Yeah. Bible verse, direct you back into giving.
Yeah. We see in a lot of these preachers is that they'll say, the Lord told me a number of you need to give $1,000, things like that.
Ushers, close the doors. Seed, if I get 1,000 online to give.
Close that door. You good, Mud? You good, Mud? Now close that door. Put that money in there. Pass that plate around there. Close that door. Sneaky.
This, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight.
I don't for a minute believe God is speaking to them like that. There's nothing like that in the Bible.
I really don't think you could listen to a single sermon by Kenneth Copeland or one of these other prosperity preachers where money is not, if not the focus, at least mentioned.
Churches are not required to file 990s. Some provide a church financial statement or an audited financial statement to the donors. Sometimes they'll just have a brief summary and an annual report.
Brother in arms of the Copeland Ministries. Let's freaking get it, okay?
It's gonna be fun, boys.
While everyone else is worshiping in full swing, we're using that cover to get in here as deep as we can.
So if you go to the right here, there's an oil platform.
Oil field right there.
Look at this
beautiful
oil field. Who would have thought parishioners were paying for this beautiful farmland?
Damn.
Oh, we got a gate.
Is there another way around?
Oh, it's opening.
Oh, boys!
How much
I think Kenneth might need to raise some money to patch some of the concrete here, the asphalt.
That's so kind of him that his gate opens.
Damn, man, he got a jet. Boy, got a jet hanger.
Let's see if this gate opens. It's a parsonage. So, oh my gosh.
Woo! This is the road that leads to Kenneth's home?
Yep.
This is almost a billionaire's compound that he's gotten from church money, and to be behind enemy lines right now, driving up to his house, is an independent journalist's dream. I have a hunch it's gonna be like the first three.
No, this one needs a keypad. So, should we just hang out here and wait for someone?
I'm hanging out. Oh, he got a whole basketball court. Damn, he's spending that good church money.
Folks, you should know that on this mega mansion you see, Kenneth Copeland.
Now, chat, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying a pastor shouldn't live good. I don't got no problem with a pastor living good. Live it up. We all deserve to live good in life, especially if you work hard for it. Now, when you finessing the church and the church members, that ain't right, bro. That's messed up. That's evil, dog. That's evil. You being greedy too? You ain't gotta be greedy. It's just enough you already finessing and you messing them up, but you selling them a dream too, dog. That ain't cool, man. That ain't cool. That is not cool.
allegedly pays no property tax at all. That's because this house is claimed as a parsonage, which is a property that the church owns and provides for their pastor, which makes sense for most American pastors where the average salary is a modest $52,000 a year, and thereby provides housing for their pastors living a life of sacrifice.
For
But
real?
should these tax breaks be used by the ultra-wealthy like Copeland, who for years now
that's
has avoided
crazy.
paying what should be a six-figure tax bill? You tell me
That's how so many.
in the comments.
Have you ever been to his parsonage?
They
the
look
house?
like presidents.
Has it has many employees?
Not a lot. I think the people in housekeeping, in maintenance and housekeeping, security, all of that. But no, but the people that go down and decorate for Christmas.
I would assume that the church paid for this, yes.
He has a greenhouse over there, presumably on the church dime. There's a private hunting ground. This is a playground for a man. I'm trying to see how this all lines up, because when Jesus walked into a temple and saw that people were buying and selling and making money in the temple, he flipped over the table and cracked the whip and said, "Get out of my house." How is this even possible to interpret the scripture in this way?
I honestly don't know. Like the mental gymnastics it takes Kenneth Copeland and his congregation to correlate Jesus or any of the apostles to Kenneth Copeland is mind-numbing. Can we call the church and ask the gate code?
It's your first time calling us?
It is, yeah.
So how can I pray with you today?
Oh, I would love to meet Kenneth Copeland. Is there a way to meet him? I was just really praying to be able to sit with him and get some wisdom from him. So I've been praying for a while to be able to meet him. I've reached out to him a few times and he hasn't responded. But yeah, we're at the gate to his house, but it's not open.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sure
He said,
how that works. I think the best thing that you can do is come to the church.
Oh no, we're already by his house.
We're at the there's 3 gates, and ironically the 2 first gates opened for us, and I see that as an act of God, to be honest. Like he wanted us to meet him in his house, but just the 3rd gate, it takes a passcode and I don't have it. Do you have that passcode?
You would have to go to the church.
Oh, okay. We've all become members.
I donated $69 this morning. I'm
You
a
donated
member.
69. That's a big number. Good for you for your first donation.
A biblical number, some might say. So we've been praying for the gate code, but apparently
It's another road, but it'll have the same height.
God's busy right now.
100%.
So we're gonna go to the private tarmac that he has, named after himself, and we're gonna further explore. Kenneth. Oh, Kenneth.
When we discovered there was this huge mansion on the property, church members would call us when it came out in the news and said, we didn't even know about his mansion on the property. We've had informants tell us that it's got a sweeping spiral staircase like you would see in the old movie Gone with the Wind. It's got a bridge across the living room, and the Kenneth Copeland's closet is approximately 35 feet by 20 feet, something like that. Bigger than most people's living room.
This is just a man's playground is really what we're on right now. People donated money so they could have a retirement home, a park, this biblical paradise in a way. They believe in this message that this was going to be the city for us to come and gather and celebrate Jesus.
It is kind of
Lord.
petty because he did have them to donate all that money for him to build all this stuff, and he never built it. He just built his house and gated that motherfucker off. Damn.
His love and his mercy, but instead it's just some rich guy's playground. What kind of letters would you get from people asking? They talk about the letters asking for help.
We used to get a lot of like, I can't pay my rent, I just lost my job, like here's a copy of my lease, can you pay my rent for this month?
And how often would he help these people?
Hardly ever. On average, I would touch probably 8,000 pieces of mail a month. I maybe saw 3 or 4 that got helped. Everyone else is no, total.
In the 2.5 years?
We're
on Kenneth Copeland's private tarmac. Let's check it out.
From what I've seen here, it doesn't seem like there's much distribution. Like you look at the revival capital of the world, what he's been raising money on for the last 44 years, the distributions all went to him.
Do you have any idea what kind of money the church was bringing in through this on a weekly basis?
I can't give you like an exact number, but I know they did several fundraisers a year that would reach $10 million. I think last I heard, like Kenneth's personal net worth was like $760 million.
He's had planes since the 70s, and he's had jets since the 90s, and perhaps since the late 80s. But now he's got 2 private jets. They're owned by the ministry, and two twin-engine turboprop aircraft that are also owned by the ministry.
But the three things that he's missing are
The resort hotel
I don't
for
see
his
that.
parishioners.
Do you see that?
Nope. Kingdom Park, which looks like it got turned into a high-fence deer hunting ranch
For him.
And then Wisdom Heights, which is an elderly community for people that donated. And we've heard from people that some parents donated hundreds of thousands of dollars thinking that they would be able to retire here.
So do we have any proof that he actually did try and build the hotel or the park or the retirement home?
The retirement community I don't think there's any proof that he ever tried to build that. The hotel, he never tried. I've never seen blueprints. There was never sewer or water or electricity brought into the property to be able to build something like that. The park, there's a Frisbee golf course. He raised or generated $700+ million. A Frisbee golf course, I guess, is you could say it's a park.
Who are you guys? We're all tithers. We were just trying to see the parsonage because we've never seen any documentation.
Damn, we got his own, security. I should have known that.
You cannot be out here. This is an active strip.
No, it's not. We know it's not.
No, this is active.
It has to be repaid.
It's active.
Listen, I get you're out here to expose stuff. I get that.
He was supposed to build all this stuff.
I'm aware. Listen, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you are on a private airstrip on private property right now, and I need you to leave immediately.
But we're paying members of the church.
If you don't leave, you're going to be criminally trespassed by the police. Get in your vehicles and leave now.
No, I want to ask him about the resort hotel, Wisdom Heights, and the Kingdom Park. Is the Kingdom Park the Frisbee golf thing up there?
Hey, that's a work in progress, so just don't worry about all that.
For 44 years?
It's a joke to you.
No, I think the joke is a guy pretending to be like the power of Jesus Christ is secretly bawling while all the promises he made
That is not okay,
seem to
dog.
not come to fruition.
Well, take us to the church and we'll go to the church.
Yeah, just go right out this gate.
We're going to go out this gate, guys, and head to the church. We're going to head to the church right now.
Is that him?
Okay, pal.
Is that him?
No, you're not. Parishioners, yeah.
Off the property now.
What is that badge?
They was leaving.
Off the
No,
property.
can I see what it is?
You want to see this? Off the property.
Whoa, dude, you're being flash your gun. We want to see your badge.
No.
You did.
Jack crap.
You did.
Get off the property.
Okay. Are you police
What did you
or?
flash at us?
Doesn't matter.
You literally threatened us with your gun, dude.
Okay, look, he's doing it again. That's
No,
crazy.
I'm not.
What the fuck? See, now that ain't holy right there. That's the devil, dog. What the fuck? I ain't never seen no church like that. I ain't gonna lie.
You what? Put your other arm on.
You do not belong on the property. How did you get on the property?
There's literally gates that you pull up to and they open.
No, there's not.
There it is.
How much do you want to bet we rolled
They for
the whole
sure
time?
open
You guys,
for them.
please stop.
What are you, how? Let me ask you, really guys, seriously?
Yeah.
What are you doing out here?
Like the church. We're members.
You go to church here?
Yeah. And we're tithe members.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
Let me
got
show my
your
receipt.
ass.
Receipt for
I
what?
gave Kenneth Copeland $69.
Okay,
A
great.
considerable sum.
Great.
Doing that with the gun was a little nuts.
Well, you know, when I get a call like this, what would you do?
What was the call?
What was the
is we got
call?
people
They
out
ain't
here that
doing
don't belong
nothing.
out here. That's what I got.
Now, trespassing on the property, yes, but if they had like any type of like automatic weapons, okay, but they ain't got nothing on them. You already got 2 security guards that got a lot of heavy armory on them. Why the hell you come out there flashing your gun too, boy? Sit your lame ass down. You been waiting for this moment, man.
When I pull up, I got a crowd of people, cameras flashing everywhere. What is going on?
Yeah.
And then you're on the runway.
Yeah.
We'll get out the runway.
Yeah, we'll meet at the church.
Holy shit. He someone threw his gun out.
That's
That guy looks
wow.
like fucking psycho.
Yeah, he was ready to
Kill someone.
Kill us for Copeland, dude?
Yeah. Oh shit. It's gonna...
Did you just impersonate a police officer?
No, I didn't.
What'd you flash at us?
He did
Shut
just impersonate
the camera
a
What'd you
police
flash at us?
officer.
It is my badge for the job.
Can you show me that?
No, I already showed it to you.
But
And
we're
actually,
not.
that's probably more dangerous than a weapon, isn't it?
What? A camera? That's true.
How the
What?
fuck a
I know
camera
it is.
more dangerous? Oh, a camera more dangerous than a weapon because we just caught him in 4K doing some suspicious shit that he was not supposed to be doing. Oh, they fucked up. they fucked up over there. What the fuck type of operation? See, now me as a person, I don't care because it ain't my business, but bro, I wonder, cause bro, like God got a place for everybody, dog. I wonder how do that like transition to people that be on bullshit like that, cause that's fucked up for real. That's fucked up. What they doing over there, that is all the way, that's beyond fucked up. I'll be pissed if my mama going to that church, just paying all type of tithes and shit, and they over there just fucking them up. That's fucked up for real.
Okay, guys, what do you want to ask?
We were going with you to the church, but you pulled over.
Yeah, I did. You noticed that.
These are the 6 pillars that Kenneth used to raise all his money. The resort hotel he promised, he did not build. Kingdom Park, he did not build. He built the radio and TV center. He did not build Wisdom Heights.
Where are we going?
I'm saying he committed fraud.
Allegedly. I think of all places you'd expect transparency, you would want it in a church. But the truth is, how KCM spends the donations it receives is something only they know, because churches are not required to file the Form 990, which is the financial disclosure form that other nonprofits must submit to the IRS. And the religion Kenneth claims to represent features its main character, Jesus, doing things like humbly riding a donkey into town and flipping over a table when men tried making money in the church, leading many to question, in what way does Kenneth's lavish lifestyle resemble anything remotely biblical? And furthermore, how is Kenneth allowed to enrich himself while completely being shielded by a tax code that was designed to protect genuine religious work?
The IRS has used 14-point criteria to categorize churches. And in the 80s, they were able to successfully prosecute a number of organizations that claimed to be churches that weren't, because they didn't have a membership that regularly attended the church. And nowadays, the IRS doesn't even want to investigate churches, and so Copeland's ministry is one of those that doesn't file a 990. So nobody knows, his donors don't know what's going on.
How is the IRS not looking into him?
That is a good question. I remember back in 2008, Senator Chuck Grassley attempted to do that. You know, in the United States, we have freedom of religion, and I'm grateful for that. But within, underneath that umbrella, you've got a wide berth there. If it's my religion to say, if you give me $1,000, God will heal you of cancer. If you're foolish enough to believe that, well, that's my religion. You agreed to it, so I'm covered. You can't come after me legally. You can't sue me.
So what are you here to do?
I'm here to point out a fraud.
That's true.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
But that don't even make
I've
sense.
got way more than this. I've got more data than
why are you here?
Because
if
we
you've
wanted
got
to go
everything
see.
you need.
Oh, I don't have everything. That's why I want to talk to George or Ken.
That's not going to happen today.
The only people that ever call me
tell
are
him to
lawyers.
shut the camera off.
I can't. That's his job.
Well, the next step is for you to vacate the property.
I'm a paying member.
Yeah, I know. $69 or
no, that was
it
Tommy.
Tommy. Okay.
$69.
Whatever.
Yeah, but we pay for it. I paid $69 to this church.
And as of right now, you guys are criminal trespassing. We've asked you to leave. After this, you guys will no longer be allowed on this property.
For how long?
Saying up to a year.
Up to a year?
A year?
Can we mark the calendar to visit you in a year?
I think they'll mark it for you.
That guy did flash a badge and his gun at us.
Okay.
I identified myself.
We won't press charges if you invite us back into the church right now.
Really? You're going to negotiate that on camera?
I think that's fair. Okay, so hop in your cars and head out.
What is up with him and this camera? And they didn't really do nothing. All this shit is on camera, by the way. Nigga, you flashed the gun at them for no reason. You was about to off that motherfucker.
Next year, guys.
Yep. Take care, Steve.
See you next year.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Well, boys, we got our money's worth this Sunday. I think there's probably a lot of good things that happened at that church. You could tell there was a tight-knit community. There's a lot of love in the air. I'm not taking that away from these guys. What we are talking about, though, is when it's that much money on the line, it's fair to know how that's being allocated, how that's being spent, and why things that he promised.
He's selling a dream to the elderly, talking about some he gonna build a house for housing programs for them, but he taking the money and they build shit. Now imagine if they really needed that money for them to actually go somewhere and they ain't got nowhere to go after that. That's fucked up, bro.
Like, there are old ladies at their house that donated absurd sums of money to this guy. And Nothing ever came to fruition. Hey, I'm going to build you a retirement home.
Nah, they don't have to give him the
In
money.
an effort to get both sides of the story, we reached out to
wouldn't give a
Kenneth
shit.
Copeland multiple times for an interview, but similar to Scientology, he typically does not do interviews because the results tend to be disastrous. But in the interest of fairness, I wanted to highlight the good
both of
Kenneth
them look
Copeland
real
Ministries,
snooty.
or KCM, has done, and it was actually harder to find than I expected. I read through their 2024 report, and here were 3 major things that I found they celebrated. They distributed 84 million ministry materials, meaning things like books, CDs, and digital downloads. The report claims that they
Get no
brought over
money,
7 million people to salvation in Jesus Christ. And I learned that KCM has very strong ties with Israel and highlights donating surveillance equipment, security cameras, and tactical gear to their Israeli partners. Interesting.
out no
And
money,
after
though.
reading the report, most of KCM's charitable giving seems to be in the form of things like Copeland branded Bibles, sermon audio, and even a Copeland Christmas album, leading some to ask, is this
Giving
really
out no
charity,
money,
or is
though.
this just self-promotion disguised as ministry?
I'm here on the scene with private investigators. You guys have been looking into the Copelands for how long?
For several decades.
How do you think he came across the funds to get this kind of stuff?
Well, he already had the property when they discovered that when fracking was invented, and they discovered they had gas underground there. And so they started drilling in about 1995, and were hoping to be self-sufficient.
But do we know what kind of funds he used to buy this? Do you know if it was church funds or otherwise?
He raised funds for Revival Capital of the World in the 70s. Purchased the property. He says he got it for a steal. He flew over the property when he was flying back from Oklahoma, and said God told him that's going to be your property. And they discovered oil on it after they owned it.
I heard the Lord, I was looking across there. I heard the Lord say, see that tree right over there? And I said, yes, sir.
If you're looking at it from his point of view, God surprised him with the oil, why not use it, right?
Right.
Anything to add to this oil kingdom we see behind us?
Typically, when you have a nonprofit organization with drilling like this occurring on the land, it would be considered unrelated business income because oil drilling has nothing to do with the ministry of the nonprofit organization. There's a form called a 990T for unrelated business income. It would typically be reported and taxed, but there's a crazy loophole in the law. If the property's paid for, they do not have to report it as unrelated business income.
If we were to look at all the people that have lived since biblical times to now, Kenneth Copeland would be in the top 0.00001% of lavish livers. I mean, there's kings that didn't even live like he does today.
And he uses those scriptures about Solomon, the riches of Solomon, to justify his wealth.
What if it's that same guy as yesterday just comes out and just starts firing?
I think that's the same truck. That's the same truck.
That's definitely him.
There's the helicopter right there.
Look at that.
Damn, they got helicopters
Hey,
out there too.
We need some answers. If you could speak directly to Kenneth, what would you tell him?
Oh, that was
Pay your fair
Kenneth.
share of taxes and get out of politics.
Our goal was to storm Kenneth's private jet hangar and climb aboard his luxury aircraft. So we tracked down the place where his jets were
these
stored, and
niggas
this is what happened
bold.
next.
It's gonna be that same nigga that drew the
Not
gun.
using his own tarmac to store his jets, but he's using this one right up here. So we're gonna see if we can find a way into his tarmac to see what his jets look like. You ready for a mission?
Yeah, we're at the Alliance Airport. There's a private hangar over here that holds Copeland's jet. And then whenever his buddies fly in on their private jets, they're all just racked against this fence line.
This is the place where the famous TikTok clip about Kenneth Copeland speaking like a demon to that lady, this is the famous area.
Since he got a bigger plane, his main plane can't land on
like
that
I
small
seen that
runway
video
anymore,
somewhere.
so he had to move here.
What we're looking at right now is something that very few people in their life will ever even get access to. We're looking at a private airport. This is where the ultra wealthy fly out of. And the thing is, some of those people here at this airport are megachurch pastors. Jesus told people to go out and sacrifice, to go out and give into the people, to go out and struggle and suffer. He had disciples that were on the road preaching that got persecuted, that got killed for spreading the message, living in great discomfort, living a life of sacrifice, living a life that they gave up everything they had for Jesus. You guys tell me in the comments, does that fly with you? Check this out, look what we got here. First parking space next to the door, EMIC, Eagle Mountain International Church. So this is where his fancy car parks. He goes in there for his jet. They paid a premium for this spot. How do you people give money to this man? I don't get it. I really don't. The question that comes to my mind is how in God's green earth does someone rationalize making almost $1 billion off the back?
Dude got up in there, they was like, oh, we got a good one right here. That is a good man, Savannah. That is a great man right there, Savannah. He got him. He got him. That's a damn shame, though, that people see what he doing and they ain't calling on in on this bullshit. Some people is, but the people that still like accepting it, like, bro, why are you
of their donors and their own church members when there are so many real issues in the world: hunger, education, housing, mental health. That's what our church is supposed to do, is to help the community. But instead we have this son of a bitch who is just racking up the income. Again, I'm not calling his members stupid, but I don't understand it.
How does it feel speaking right now? And would you say there is a climate of fear to speak out against Kenneth Copeland?
I mean, I'm scared, but I also, that's just how I was raised, and I feel like it's breaking that tie.
Is there a real fear that someone would come after you for speaking out against him?
Potentially.
What is it that you want the people to walk away with after they see this episode on Kenneth, but also the bigger problem of misappropriation of funds within the church community?
There's a lot of issues in the system, in the religious system in America, but it has all the tools it needs to fix a lot of things too. American Christians are the most generous givers in the world per capita. They give more away to charity than anybody else. So that means that the Christian church has more resources than anybody else. It has more time than anybody else. So here's the crazy part. If reform was brought into the religious sector in America with these religious exemptions, the Christian church has enough resources, just if we stopped most of the theft in churches, to solve the top 30 global social issues, and it would affect no one's bottom line. You could change the world tomorrow.
The Apostle Paul makes an interesting statement in 2 Timothy 3, verse 13. He says that evil men and impostors will grow from bad to worse, deceiving and being deceived. Both of those dynamics can be at work in the same person. Kenneth Copeland is actively deceiving people. He knows that he has given many, many false prophecies. I would tell Kenneth Copeland to repent. I would say to Kenneth Copeland, Kenneth, I don't hate you, but I do hate what you do.
But if I could say one thing to Kenneth Copeland, it would be, dude, the church should be the most accountable, transparent organization in the world. It is the literal, like, arbiter and voice of Jesus, like, or the manifested voice of that. And instead, it's the darkest, shadiest sector in the entire economy.
Folks, as you probably know, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what needs to be exposed about churches and pastors out there. And no one covers this better than Nate and his team at thereligionbusiness.com. And if you use my exclusive code, TommyG74, you get a discount and the ability to watch the entire series of all the work they cover. This is a really important issue, so I highly recommend you go to their website, buy the videos, buy the series, and check it out further. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Well, chat, that was a W video. I will see y'all next time.